Get on WoW. Go on raid.
What?
We're doing Tourcast.
We're doing well?
Get on. Got nothing to do.
Yeah, there is nothing to do
Bored.
at the moment. Yeah. It's a good thing the VCS doesn't start for a while.
Guys, god dang it, my timer.
What?
Oh,
Did you do that?
Timer.
Timer?
What timer?
Wait, what's the date?
Oh,
Vinny, the VCS starts in 2 days.
It is the...
We haven't prepped anything.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yulwei's gonna kill us. Another split of the VCS has begun, and 2021 shows no signs of slowing. The league does look a bit different now. Some old favourites have left, but new challengers have risen up to the occasion. We here at VCS English will bring you every game, every lane, every solo kill, right as they happen. All the big fights, the big moments, those pop-off performances. His husband should clean him up after the golden does end. 𝗀𝗲𝗀𝘀 got a kill as well. This is Buffalo potentially getting back into it as 𝘂𝘂𝗀𝘀 has now entered the fight. Big shield onto that set, but they can't deal with the monkey. And now Styles got to run. He gets knocked up. Can they turn this back around? Style taking so much damage. Look at 𝘂𝘂𝗀𝘀 ripping them up. This monkey has escaped the zoo. Someone call a zookeeper. He's on the loose. He's got a quadra kill. He's going to look for the penta. 𝘂𝘂𝗀𝘂𝗀𝘂!
Yes!
All the best mechanics. This is some of the worst Ornn play I've ever seen. What are you doing? Oh my god!
It looks so clunky too. Oh god. Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, they're going
Simon
for
is
him
going to die
again.
again.
Yeah, so Simon, maybe they should bring those game-changing moments.
Those raptors came to the rescue of 𝘀cie𝗱𝘆𝘀. He would have been death sentenced there by 𝘁𝑙𝘁, but instead a raptor got hit. And now 𝘀cie𝗱𝘆𝘀 gets to deal all his damage, a lot of crits. 𝘁𝑇 once again focused. And look at 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝘀 flashing over the wall there. Perfect.
And the plays that define a league. Levi threatening him, but he flashes away immediately. A good scout of the week as well. 3k health on Baron.
No
Ego,
smite.
can you do it? Ego, this is gotta be it. And he can't do it. Levi will get the Baron. They're backing out as well. The teleport's interrupted by 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝘀.
Oh, the interrupt.
Look at the base! They're teleporting in! Can they stop the backs? They've just got to stop them! Oh, he stopped 𝘂𝑎𝑙𝘀! He stopped 𝘂𝑎𝑙𝑀! Please, let us look at the Nexus!
Oh, here's that!
It's happening! They've gone for the base race! It doesn't matter if you get Baron. If they take your Nexus, the towers are down. They've just got to hit the last structure. Let's go!
Oh,
Let's go!
it's done!
𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝘀 at Worlds! 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 at Worlds! And who knows how many more magic minutes we'll be adding here this split. On behalf of the whole team at VCS English, buckle in, because the VCS train has left the station, and those brakes got cut a long time ago. Welcome everybody to the spring split of the VCS. It's finally here. We've been waiting and waiting for some real League of Legends. My name is Everyday. With me tonight on the analyst desk is Mr. Rebel Fox and Vinny. How are we tonight, lads? How have you been, Rebel?
Doing phenomenal. Happy for the VCS to finally come back. I have something to do at 3 in the morning. Was really missing that time slot being filled. So, in all seriousness, I've been missing the VCS. I'm happy to have it back. Happy to get another chance at Worlds like last year, where we only team that went undefeated, or only region that went undefeated. So we get to hold that over everybody. That's nice.
Yep, I've got a better record than TSM. That's all that matters. Vinny, how have you been? How does it feel to be back?
We could have gone to Worlds and had a better record than TSM, but...
True.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be back. It's been a long off season, a long, painful off season where you've had to basically relearn the game. It's items, man. I took them for granted, but I miss the old ones.
It was a lot easier.
I
for
understood
sure. Yeah, but it is good to get a little bit refreshed. New things, new season. And we've gotten our heads around the items by now. There's no super broken things, you know?
Yes, there is.
Gale Force doesn't exist or anything? No, of course not. But to focus
Don't
on...
forget to take a bath after the stream.
Oh my goodness.
It's a reference to something off stream that no one's going to get, but that was really funny. Anyway, it's a new split of the VCS, and in standard VCS fashion, the entire league has changed. We have 2 new teams entering the arena. We have talked about this on the Everyway podcast, but for those of you that don't watch, we will give you the rundown. EVOS did sell their spot. The organization just decided to call it quits. It's a shame. We do miss them. Their spot was purchased by SBTC, a new organization owned by a very popular streamer in Vietnam. And we also have 𝘀𝑺e, who fought through the promotion bracket and took the spot of 𝗀𝗶𝗆 Gaming, who are no longer in the league. What are your impressions of these 2 new faces? We'll start with you, Rebel.
Yeah, fortunately, I got a chance to look at G Media 𝘀𝑺e when they were in their qualification tournament, and they kind of ran house there when we got a chance to see them. A lot of that was due to the fact that they had 𝘀𝑺e, although Killer Queen was no snuff either. They were both fantastic junglers, and they honestly might have won all the way through even without 𝘀𝑺e. But with 𝘀𝑺e, this looks like a team that could legitimately be competitive, not just within the league to try to get into playoffs, but even in playoffs, they can maybe make some noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually insane how much better than the rest of the competition that 𝘀𝑺e was. Both junglers were fighting for that top spot, and if you have the 2 best junglers in that tournament on the same team, you've got a good advantage.
Yeah, just a bit. And of course, SBTC is a star-studded lineup. They have assembled quite a lot of people. It is pretty ridiculous. Vinny, do you want to get us started talking about the chicken?
So the chicken has acquired probably a top 3 player in every role. They've got 𝘂𝑺e, they've got Yijin. That's the one you have to question because he hasn't played for a split. You've got DO1, you've got Celebrity, you've got Slay. Insane, and it basically comes down to looking like what we imagine 𝘁𝗀, the stereotypical 𝘁𝗀 only play through topside, but it's 𝘁𝗀 with a bot lane, which is on paper a terrifying thought.
It really, really is. I'm super keen to see SBTC. It is a very volatile team, though. We're gonna have to see if they gel. Rebel,
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the star-studded lads?
Yeah, the first thought that comes to mind with SBTC is just Yijin. He had some really good splits before he had taken that last split off, like I know Vinnie had alluded to. My second thought, which is a crazy one, is that they have 3 players that are going to be fighting to play Tristana, because Slay back in the day used to play when he's ADC, and Dia1's going to fight for it, and now Celebrity's going to play it quite a bit too. So who gets the Tristana pick, we're not to know yet, but I think the big question mark for the squad is Yijin. Like knowing how well he is doing, how well he's developed since his last split is going to be pivotal to how good the team is.
Yeah, so all of the rumors that we have heard, and I do want to stress that word rumors, is that Yijin not playing last split was not a performance issue. It wasn't that he was bad, there were other things going on behind the scenes. That's the rumor, so hopefully he can come back, because I would say in spring 2020, me and Yulwei certainly agreed. The community disagreed with us, but we strongly believe that he was the best jungler in the league. He out-jungled Levi that split. So if he can come back and do that again, that's pretty big. That's pretty huge.
Jungle being a super important factor in this meta, and has always been super important in the VCS, where we have superstar junglers pretty much top to bottom. Almost top to
Now, to continue talking about the league as a whole, we can talk a little bit about some power rankings, because all of the teams changed. The VCS has a very different look. If we go over to our power rankings, me and Vinny have kind of talked about ours on other content, but we haven't had a look at yours, Rebel. Mm-hmm. So, Rebel, do you want to run us through your power rankings and why you think, particularly one team, you have them so high?
I mean, if you look at, I thought that this was going to be, obscenely crazy. It actually turns out me and Yulwei pretty much have exactly the same thought, except we swept Team Secret and Cerberus. So, like I watched back through all of the first half of the split from Cerberus, and I was really impressed. And then they went out and they got Ego, and Ego was the best jungler last split. He beat Levi. He was the winner of the split. He was on Team Flash, that amazing team. This team did nothing but improve, and they've got fantastic players across the board. So I'm in the belief that one more split put together with a new, very very talented, very young jungler is enough to put them at the top of the discussion as well.
It's certainly a very bold call. Vinny, do you have a counterpoint, considering you do have them down in...
Yeah, I think the main thing holding Cerberus back is strength of solo laners and coaching staff. I mean, if you have the coach, something went wrong last split that caused that collapse, and so that clearly indicates the coaching staff isn't able to deal with those sort of situations. It may have changed over the off season, but if that thing happens again, they could still collapse. And Ego's still a young player. He's not going to have he's probably not going to have that guiding voice to sort of fix those problems.
Yeah.
And half the reason I think Ego looked so good was because he had 𝘁𝗍𝘃 and Yoshino and even Slater. He had really strong lanes to work around, even though Yoshino was kind of faltering. So I think I'm a bit down on Ego compared to most, because I'm looking at what he had to work with on his lanes, and that really does help a jungler out a lot.
I agree. I sort of share. I share a lot of your sentiment. My opinion is that I don't think 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 was the issue with Cerberus's collapse. Cerberus, they looked like the best team in the league. They went undefeated for nearly half the split or something. It was just this ridiculous run. But then they collapsed, and I don't think 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 is the reason. Ego is definitely an upgrade. We'll have to see if he can carry his form from last split, but based on that, it's an upgrade, but I don't think it's a pivotal upgrade. That's why I don't have them as high, but I do think the top half of the league is very close, which is exciting. That's great.
Yeah. I think the top 5 are mostly interchangeable. You've got some more which are more leaning towards the top half. Flash and Cerberus, in my opinion, are probably going to be fighting 4 and 5, but I think for the most part, I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams came up on top.
It is a shame as well. We should bring it up. We all have Flash ranked either 4th or 5th. In my opinion, Flash and Cerberus were very interchangeable. I think they'll be fighting for that 4th spot. I just sort of lent on Flash. They clearly, as an organization, know how to win. I don't know if their current players will. It's a real shame, though. We had a team that wins both splits of 2020. In my opinion, they were the best Vietnamese team just ever. Because, remember, as time goes on, typically everyone gets better. I think they were the best Vietnamese team that we'd ever had, but they didn't get to play internationally due to COVID. And that's a huge shame. Rebel, do you have any positive spin for Flash fans?
I think this will be a great opportunity for 𝘁𝗀𝘀𝘀. I think 𝘁𝗀𝗀𝘀 was really, really poorly utilized when he was on Saigon Buffalo, and so this is the opportunity for him to prove why he was... we were very high on him even when he was on a pretty bad team, so now he has at least a lot more solidified of a roster around him. 𝘁𝗀𝗆 and 𝘁𝗏kid aren't bad players by any standard. They are replacing huge shoes in 𝘁𝗁i and Slater, but they don't have a horrible roster. There's a reason why we still have them in that 4 or 5 slots somewhere in there, because they still have the ability to do so. So I think Flash, they've taken a step back, certainly, but they're not going to be a horrible team.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I think on the side of Flash, they put together the best roster they could after their middle trio blew up and separated. And especially with Dia1 being picked up at SBTC, 𝘁𝗆𝗆 was probably the next best free agent. Because I believe Yada was still under contract, Cerberus, etc., etc. So I think they've picked up the next best AD carry, they've picked up the best mid lane they can, and they picked up a really good jungler.
Yep, I agree. Continuing to sort of talk about brackets, let's touch on what we consider to be the lower end. BTS, to inform people, BTS is not a new team. It's actually percent from last split, who finished in 6th place. They have renamed to Burst the Sky. Yeah, we hate it too. We hate it too. But them and 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆𝘀, I think we all agreed that they were 7th and 8th. I think we all had them even in that order. Are there any bright lights for these two teams? Vinny, do you have anything to watch?
So BTS has upgraded their top, well, I think, I'm happy to saying TH is an upgrade to YT. They've upgraded their top laner, but their big issue is they didn't fix the hole in their jungle, so they don't really have. So they're stuck with 𝘀𝘀, and they actually did pick up DK, and if we do see DK starting, that's really good.
Yeah.
He was probably the best player on OPG for the most part. Xin, of course, had some good showings, but he's not here. So. But overall, I think, they're just sort of pound for pound weaker than the teams above them. 𝘀𝑺 and Big Core have shown some good signs, but they should not be. But the whole team as a whole just does not feel like they have the ability to get up there.
I just don't feel like they have any star power.
I believe they did pick up 𝘁𝑥water.
For coaching, I think you're right.
For coaching, so maybe 𝘁𝑥water can get the best out of those players like he did on Secret and 𝘁𝑠e, and if so, that'd be really good. I really wanted to see 𝘁𝑺 develop last split. He didn't really do that. So there's potential on this roster, but it's on paper just does not stack up.
Yeah, and Rebel, the other bottom team, 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆𝘀, where are you looking? What's the bright light? Is there any?
To me, the bright light is, number one, they kept 𝘁𝑚ed. 𝘁𝑚ed and �ＭELIODAS were the bright spot last year because they were both very talented. 𝘁𝑚ed did have a really good start and then kind of finished poorly, and I want to see him come back and have another good split. The other big thing is they brought in a lot of players from their developmental roster, and so obviously they're planning not for maybe this split or even next split, but definitely the future to be in their sights by bringing in people like BJ, 𝘁𝑐e, and these players helped them get through that the qualification tournament as well, and they looked pretty decent as well. They weren't on the level of 𝘁𝑚e, but certainly players that are in the developmental league aren't likely to be ready on the spot for a lot of things. So them winning through with this squad actually speaks a lot to their ability to develop as well. So I'm excited maybe for the future of Saigon, even if this split isn't going to look great.
Yeah, it's so rough, and it's kind of it's an argument for franchising. I know that's a contentious topic, but I agree. 𝘁𝗱𝗆𝐿 is not looking at this split, and they're probably not even looking at next split. But do you survive 2 splits with a team that's going to finish last? Like, seriously, you might just get relegated. It's a gamble being played by the Buffalo here.
Mm-hmm.
𝘁𝑚ed is still, when he's on form, he's still one of the best top laners in the league. In a league that has some very good top laners as well, so that's hardly an empty praise. It's just a question of if he's going to be on that form or if he's going to fall off again. Venturing back up the table, the teams we didn't touch on were 𝘀𝘀 and Secret. I think we all have them in the top 3, both of them, in various places. I have 𝘀𝘀 third. Oh, you have Secret 4th, of course, because you have Secret up there. Sorry, you have Cerberus up there, my mistake. You have Secret 4th because you have Secret 2nd, yeah. Brain. Well, do you want to start us off then and just tell us why you're a little bit more down on Secret?
I wouldn't say necessarily that I'm down on Secret. They didn't really do much with their roster outside of the fact that they've swapped Celebrity with Slater, which is it's an upgrade, but I don't think it's enough of an upgrade to consider them a much significantly improved team from what we saw on the previous split. Obviously, Slater is going to make a positive impact. Perhaps he is going to step in and maybe be kind of the key component here for Secret to take over, which is why everybody has them in that top 4 slot. Obviously, this isn't a bad team by any standard. They also have a couple of other younger players that they might be testing out over the course of the split, obviously. But I feel like Team Secret is just as good, if not slightly better than last split, but there are other teams that still have that higher priority to start the split in my mind.
That's interesting. It's interesting because that's actually something that made me put them higher, because I think they're just going to hit the ground running a bit faster. Because like a team like SBTC, I think they're going to take some time to gel. But Secret, as you said, they just changed Slater, and Slater kind of just I mean, you can just stick him on. I mean, if he lets you, just pick him 𝘁𝘁𝘀𝘆. Like you can just put him on there. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And then he can play 𝘁cie once you've really got your synergy all down. Vinny, what are your thoughts on Team Secret? Just briefly.
Yeah, it's much the same as Rebel. It's not a massive upgrade. I think if I was as high on Cerberus as Rebel is, Secret may be in that 4th position, but since I'm not, is 3rd. It's really just there's not another team I'd want to put above them besides SBTC and 𝘁𝗻. So sort of by default they're 3rd at the highest, and then there's not much. They didn't upgrade that much. Coded still maybe might turn out to be a problem. Artifact might turn out to be a problem. Depends on how they perform. They're very inconsistent players. They have a more consistent carry threat now with Slater, but Celebrity was still a solid carry threat as we saw last split. So it's not a big enough upgrade for me to really go, oh, they're going to win the split sort of thing, or even reach finals.
Fair enough. And then the final team to touch on is 𝘁𝗻, the perennial big dogs, the large fish in a very small pond. Yulwei and Rebel have them coming first. Now I'm curious, just answer quickly. Do you have them winning the split or just coming first?
I have them coming first. In playoffs, maybe teams start to develop at that point, but at minimum, they'll probably end in first and this split. Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. I have them 3rd, which is the lowest ranking, and I just want to quickly justify it. I know no one really cares what I think. I'm just a play-by-play caster, but in my opinion, it's just because I think Levi is getting caught, not caught out. As in, Levi used to dominate so hard because he was just better. He was just the best jungler in the league by a country mile. He's probably still the best jungler in the league. I think maybe Ego was better last split, but that was just one split. Levi's been doing it for who knows how long. Levi's the best jungler in the league, but he's not the best jungler in the league by 10 miles anymore. There are junglers that can go toe-to-toe with him, so I don't think his gap is as big anymore. I still think 𝘁𝗏𝗏 is the best top laner in the league by actually quite a ways. I think I am so high on 𝘁𝗏𝗏. And then I think the problem is they just went, hey, let's get Style as our ADC. Why?
Yeah.
Why? You managed to downgrade from EasyLove. How? Rebel, do you have some thoughts on 𝘁𝗻? Because I can't believe it.
I mean, they've always prided themselves on being like a very top side of the map heavy team, and to me, the biggest signing of anybody, Style included, B included, was 𝘁𝗏𝗀. And 𝘁𝗏𝗀 was arguably the one player that was on another team that like you couldn't argue that DL1 was better than 𝘁𝗏𝗀. 𝘁𝗏𝗀 is way better rounded. He's just a better player in general, in my opinion, and he's what made Flash tick. So they went out and they got him, and to me, that gives them the best top quadrant or the top 3 on any team. There is no argument that they are the best top 3 in the league. Their bot lane, that remains to be seen, but I'm willing to put a lot of chips on the table for 𝘁𝗏𝗀𝗏, Levi, and 𝘁𝗏𝗀𝗏.
Fair enough. Vinny, what are your thoughts on the boys from 𝘁𝗻?
Pretty much, it's 𝘁𝗻, right? It's 𝘁𝗻. They're going to play for top side. They did get that upgrade in mid lane, even though it's not the biggest upgrade in the world, but it's still an upgrade. It allows them to be a bit more flexible and maybe go down to the bot lane and support their bot laner, who admittedly is weaker, but I think B will be a better fit for Style than Hin was, than Slay would have been. Much more of a lane-focused support, much more of a defensive bouncer type support. Loves his Braum, loves his Tankkench. So maybe going with something like that, it can help offset Style's poor positioning. He's a lot like Season 2 Double Lift, where it's like mechanical god, but he's just like going in and in really bad positions.
God?
Okay. God in the like...
Yeah, he's mechanically...
You know what?
Yeah. I know what you mean. I was teasing.
He's good at mechanic. He can fix my car, I suppose. But yeah, he's all right. He just has really poor decision making, and I think B will be a better fit for him and let him shine a bit more. Plus, if he's not really that central focus of the team, it's going to be good for them. Remember last year, they always, like, a lot of the times teams would engage onto 𝘂𝘂𝗍, they'd kill 𝘂𝘂𝗍, and then 𝘁cie and DO1 would just clean up the fight. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the same sort of thing happens this split, and it doesn't matter who Garm's ADC actually is, but...
That's true. And
and if all else fails, they still have 𝘂𝘂𝗍.
they can just put 𝘂𝘂𝗍 back in, which I think would be the right decision. But anyway, we will crack on. That is kind of what we think of every team. But we do have 2 actual matches tonight. Obviously, not every team can play. We are heading in to... I'm completely blanking on what our first game is. Thank you. 𝘀𝑠ℎ𝗱𝗆 versus Cerberus. My God, good start. Let's talk about that one. Rebel, do you want to kind of give us a few opinions on this first match of the split?
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic opportunity for Cerberus to show what they can do, and then also 𝘀𝑠ℍ𝗍 to show what they can do, because 𝘀𝑠ℍ𝗍 is coming out of that qualifier tournament, and Cerberus was a team that had good success. They made playoffs the last 2 splits. They had that phenomenal front side. They didn't really change much of their roster. So if 𝘀𝑠ℍ𝗍 can come out and make this really competitive, slash if they can, even take the series, 𝘀𝑠ℍ𝗍 certainly jumps up in my mind as one of the favorite teams. But to me, Cerberus has this relatively in the bag. I'm paying attention to Ego for the most part to see how he's adapting to the new culture.
Vinnie, any thoughts?
I'm very interested to see what 𝘀𝑠ℍ𝗍𝗆 brings to the table. I really want to know who they put forward as their jungler. We have to see, is it Killer Queen or is it 𝘀𝑚? Now, across the stat-wise across the tournament, the promotion series, Killer Queen played more games, and he pretty much was better than 𝘀𝑚 in every stat, but he only played Lilia. So we still have to see what happens on those.
He also got the games against the bad team.
OPG was played by 𝘀𝑚. Killer Queen
okay.
played the promotion, the final one against 𝘂𝗂𝗎𝗀 Adonis, who didn't get in. They went back down and then lost the rematch against Buffalo, but 𝘀𝑠ℎ𝗍𝗆, but he's put up a really good sense of carry threat. I've seen him play other things in VCSB itself, so I'm not too worried about a champion pool, but he does need to show something other than Lilia at like that VCSA level. Or, Lilia's matter. He can just keep playing Lilia until it's banned.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely can, but I think 𝘀𝑚 is going to be the starter. He's just more experienced. But, I mean, I loved Killer Queen. I think, I've said this before, I'm annoyed that 𝘀𝑠ℎ𝗍𝗆 picked up 𝘀𝑚. Not because I don't like 𝘀𝑚, but because Killer Queen is really, really good and I want to see him play. I wish 𝘀𝑚 had gone somewhere else. Can 𝘀𝑚 go to BTS?
Yeah, 𝘀𝑚's a fantastic jungler, and I cannot believe that this is a time where I'm like, I don't want to see 𝘀𝑚 play. I just don't want to see 𝘀𝑚 play. I want to see Killer Queen play. But
exactly. Rebel, do you have any thoughts on the matchup?
Between the two of those, I share the sentiment that I'd like to see Killer Queen play, but also watching 𝘀𝑚 just smurf on 𝘀𝑚, like literally 100 farm ahead of everybody in the promotion tournament, not just other junglers, but laners included, like, was absolutely incredible. And so so much of me wants to go, okay, Killer Queen, it'd be cool to see him come in as a rookie and like start. On the other hand, I'm like, 𝘀𝑚 was so good, and I can't take away his starting spot. So it's a tough decision. It's a coin flip for sure.
Yeah, that's basically my position is you kind of have to think 𝘀𝑚 is the starter, but I just wish he wasn't, because I wish he was starting somewhere else.
Yeah.
I want to see 𝘀𝑚 start in the VCS. I just also want to see Killer Queen start in the VCS, so it's a shame.
If 𝘀𝑚 was on BTS, I would be much more happy to say we have a superstar jungler in every team. Like Killer Queen, 𝘀𝑚, Levi, Ego, DNK. Just really good junglers across the board.
Which jungler do you think needs replaced then?
Well, 𝘀𝗏𝗆 can go.
𝘀𝗏𝗆.
No.
𝘀𝗏𝗆.
𝘀𝗏𝗆.
Feel like he's got a great name,
Rebel.
but he's bad. He's bad.
Yeah.
I think then the next worst is 𝘁𝗀𝗆, but 𝘁𝗀𝗆's a rookie, so so he can still impress me this split. 𝘀𝗏𝗆, I mean, he's still a newish player, but he's the one I'd kick.
Yeah, I would.
Especially for
Sword. I think that one's a pretty obvious decision. But where is that sort of where you think this matchup is going to hang?
No.
Vinny, you answered. No, where's this matchup going to hang?
The junglers are the most interesting part, but I think the main thing is going to be the bot lane. I think Artemis and 𝘀𝘀 are just insane players. And Shine's a rookie, so Shine can still impress, but we've seen a lot of tape from Shine because he promoted with % last split just to be replaced by Big Koro and 𝘂𝗎𝗎. So, not particularly impressed by him. 𝗴𝘂𝗶𝗹 as well, not particularly impressed by him. 𝗵𝗵𝗆 now. So we're going to have to see. I think they just won't match up particularly well against Artemis and 𝘀𝘀. And if Cerberus's bot lane can have that start of split form from last split, they should just roll over.
And I hate to cut the conversation short, but we do need to fly through the rest of what we've got. Let's have a look at our predictions for this first match. Do them real quick. So let's head over to that. That's what we all think. We've all got Cerberus winning, but Vinny thinks that 𝘀𝑚𝑒 can take a match. I'm sure we'll talk about them when we come into Champ Select, guys, but we do need to go to a very short break. We will be back in just a few moments with a Champ Select. See you guys soon. We hope you're enjoying the show here on VCS English. Because this was shocking. Let's have a look at this. This is some of the worst Ornn play I've ever seen. What are you doing? Oh my god!
It looks so clunky too. We'll get this turret back to even gold. So we still haven't really talked a lot about the... Please, get me out. This is the worst 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆𝘆 performance I've ever seen.
Look at this brilliant motherfucker. Look at his majesty. Look at that proud face. Look at that great plumage right here. Color coordination, great. Eye contact, perfect. He projects from the chest. Big chest puffed out. Very confident bird. That is a magnificent animal.
These guys fucking putting in the work, man. This is how you get places. A lot of respect to these guys, man. They are fucking unofficial VCS English. They're working hard, are casting long games. They're trying to get some work out there. Boys, let's show them some love. Good fucking job, gentlemen. Keep it up.
Situation, a really good knockup. Should be able to get the return kill. CBL, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You just eat what? 32 souls at 20 minutes here for Big Koro. Not great, is
What is going on? What is that? Very good bot game in the last one. So maybe now it's time for a very good Thresh game for him. So I think bot lane for 𝘀𝘀 should be the one we all look at, because in the first 3 games, big advantage. So for the 4th game, actually advantage.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that little video. We did have to get our tech stuff ready, but we are into the draft. The bans from GLX were Thresh, Renekton, and Graves. Over on the side of Cerberus, they took out Pantheon, 𝘀𝑎𝑟𝑙𝑖, and 𝘀𝑚𝑒. And we have a 𝘁cie𝗱𝑚𝑒𝘆, and a 𝘁𝑚𝑒𝑙𝑖 picked up. What are your impressions so far, Rebel?
my impression so far is, why is Ego not in the Cerberus roster? That
Okay,
is
we can explain that. He's sick. We thought
He's sick,
there was a
okay.
possibility of that happening. Ego is
Okay.
ill. It's not a performance. He's
That's what I figured. I just did not. Oh, hey, look at that.
I'll let you go ahead and
Process
talk
flow.
then.
Go ahead,
Vinnie,
Vinnie.
your favorite
No,
champion just got
finish
hit.
your point. Finish your point. Please.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Rel has been picked. Rel is one of the best supports at the moment, in my opinion, because she just sets up every other player on her team so beautifully with her ult. Her ult combines extremely well with Samira because you just put the circles together and everyone dies. She fits really well with mid lane picks like Orianna. She fits really well with Victor. She fits just really well with everyone. Love it. You can also pick Na and bring everyone together so they can go into the wall. She provides so much utility, so much CC. She's extremely tanky with no items, and most of all, her horse is clothes. Her horse is clothes.
Rebel, what do you think of the drafts overall so far?
So I like the Samira Rel has just been gold standard because of the fact that like when you use Rel's E, it's really hard to use on a standard ADC, but because of Samira's dashes and the resets and things that she gets, you use it so much more effectively in fights. Then you go on the other side, you've got the 𝘁cie𝗱𝘆𝘆, which has been arguably the gold standard in every single region around the world, just because of how good 𝘁cie is at the moment and how strong 𝘁𝘆star is at disengaging. I agree with Vinnie. That ultimate on Rel is absolutely astronomical. But I also love this jungle matchup between the Taliyah and the Nidalee. I think this is very skill intensive, but this is something that Soren can take advantage of all day. The Taliyah in this matchup can run the map in the right situation, and Soren's set up to do so right now.
Yeah, I've got to say, sorry to cut you off, Vinnie, but I got to say, so far, the VCS is not showing that weakness it sometimes does of horrible meta read. These could get picked in. These, if you turn the nameplates off, this could be LPL. This could be 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆.
No, it couldn't. It couldn't be LPL. Rel's been picked.
Well, okay, fine. But like, seriously, like so far, it seems like the meta read is pretty on point.
And I'm really liking what GLX is doing here, going for like the Irelia. It could be a mid lane. It's with that Yone hover, it's probably going to be top lane. But you have such a strong AP jungler with the Taliyah right now. Probably the best AP jungler, which makes me a bit confused as to why 𝘁_1 didn't pick it.
That is how you say
I guess
that.
Nidalee is. Yes, it is. It's going to be really annoying. As to why, I suppose it's comfort for the Nidalee. VCS junglers love Nidalee, but with that, you can set up these double AD solo lanes and look to really throw out itemization choices in terms of defensive. And honestly, other than maybe the Irelia being a bit of a screwball, just really strong power picks top to bottom from GLX. One of the best champions in each position, whereas CES has also much the same, but the Wukong coming out as a specific counter pick, a bit more interesting.
I mean, the one thing to comment here is that the Irelia is a screwball meta-wise, but it's pretty normal for Blazers. We saw in the promotion series, I think he went 15-1 in a game on that pick. It's just a pocket pick for him. She's definitely not weak at the moment. It is weird, but
it's
to see it come out for Blazers.
It's the normal of control matches.
Yeah, I agree. Rebel, what are your thoughts?
I think that GLX kind of fumbled the draft at the very end. The Aatrox is a good champion, don't get me wrong. They set up the Irelia beautifully. I just think that Ornn would have been absolutely necessary. You get so much better engaged from a further distance. You're able to set up the Taliyah really well. Irelia has a lot of avenue to work with that Ornn ultimate behind it. And on the other side, the Gragas was the thing that I was looking at because I was like, how does this composition with such low range actually deal with Gragas just knocking them around, playing pinball with their bodies? Instead, they go to the Wukong. It's another kind of similar zoning tool. The Orianna's going to do the exact same thing. So I think if it's not snowballing, it could be difficult for the side of 𝘁cie here to find any semblance of a team play.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Vinnie.
Then I definitely somewhat agree. But you then look at G-Media 𝘁cie's comp and think it's not the strongest in the early game. Rel's alright early, but Samira, for the most part, unless she is able to get a really nice gank and then massively outplay in the bot lane, she's not a very strong early laner. She has her range disadvantage is just really massive until she gets a couple of items, and Irelia is going to struggle a little bit up pre-6 because it's melee into range and all that. So we'll see how it goes, but I definitely think their early game might be a bit of a struggle.
Now, Rebel, before you head off, I know you did back the puppies with a 2-0 victory after seeing the draft. Are you still confident that they take this first game?
I think their composition's better. I will just earmark that with the fact that I think if Sorn pops off early, this could be a very easy game for 𝘀cie to actually find some success. But otherwise, it's a CES win.
Alrighty, well, we will talk to you again after the game. We will be buckling in with me and Vinnie on the cast this time. Vinnie is stepping on in. He's going to be casting a lot more to have a bit of a...
desk monkey.
He's not a desk monkey anymore. He gets to be a mic monkey. But here we go.
Here we go.
I like both team comps a lot. I really do.
Yeah. And I like the early sweeper purchase from Sorn, and so now they've set up a really strong late invade into this jungle. They're going to take away this blue buff, and it's gone completely unnoticed. They might suspect something when they see 𝘁𝗱𝗆𝘀 and 𝘂𝘶𝗆 return to lane through that river.
Oh, but they're not doing it. Look.
If they communicate, I believe I think 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗆𝗆 was sitting in that that river brush and may have seen them appear from the river. If that's communicated, I expect we'll turn into vertical jungling. We'll have to watch 𝘁𝑂ne on the map and see where he goes, currently on his Krugs. When they see, and anyway, they're going to see Sorn cross this ward at Raptors now, so they're going to know. They're going to know he's done a weird route, and they're probably going to send the 𝘁𝗏𝗎 straight to that blue buff. Yep, we're heading there now.
Yeah, that's good. Potentially setting up to a very, very good start for the Taliyah, but in the end, Sorn will not be getting any sneaky 3-buff shenanigans. Blazers taking a fair bit of damage in the mid lane there, but that's how this matchup is going to go early.
Yeah, and
other than that, I think we might be in for a bit of a quiet early game.
It should be quiet early game. The weaker sort of laning phase of Samira is going to be very well protected by this vertical jungling, and the two junglers might interact at these wolves, but Yado with the push is going to make sure that he's there first, so Sorn definitely probably does not want to fight, and he's on full vision, and he's realized that, so there's definitely not going to be any fighting going on.
No, this should just be a trade away. In the end, the junglers actually go pretty much completely even there. Sorn is a camp ahead at the moment, but 𝘁𝑂ne does still have a Raptor camp to go and get. Oh, hello, we have a fight, and there's a first blood! As Sorn just about survives, but 𝘁𝗏𝗆𝗆𝗏 has fallen. And a bit of a trade in the bot lane.
I hope we get a bit of a replay on that, because we were looking at bot lane, and then all of a sudden 𝘁𝑂ne was caught out in a good rotation from Blazers to get into that mid lane, get into that jungle corridor and fix that. Sorn almost went down, but now he's got first blood. He's gonna get back on the map with a 𝘁𝗍𝗍 and a Namptome, so should have a decent advantage over in upcoming skirmishes. And yeah, here we are. Just 𝘁𝑂ne tried to be cheeky, but was on vision, so Blazers was able to rotate and respond first.
Now we are going to have to do a little bit of a resync here. Welcome to VCS English. We have tech issues because my computer is a piece of poo. Please subscribe to our Patreon. Anyway, production, can you give us a time? Okay, can you pause at something? Oh, there is an engage down in the bot side. We might just wait after this one as the Samira W has come out, but the teleport arrives. 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗀 has fallen, and this is not going well here for 𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏 as they're trying to chase onto 𝘂𝘂𝗶𝗏𝗀, but that 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗃𝗃 should get 𝘁 to safety. But it's now 1-1. Okay, we are going to resync. I'll tell you when I get there, Spoods. 450. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. 56. Lovely. There we go. And there is a second round, but no.
Just to see 𝘂𝗶𝗏𝗀 trying to get an engage onto... But it's okay. Nothing... So with that coming down, they tried to go for this gank. It was very well outplayed by Artemis and 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗃, able to fend off the aggression really well. 𝘀𝗏 just sort of teleported in, stole the kill. It didn't really provide too much, but that's going to give him a bit more of an advantage in this mid lane where he's actually losing out in CS. Could be in part probably to that trade, but a 10 CS lead should not have come from that. So unless his wave was just in a really poor position when he teleported, I think 𝘀𝘀 is actually winning out on this matchup.
Yeah, at the moment, it certainly seems that way. He's now 20 CS ahead, and those minions are going to die to the tower, so it's a bit of a blessing that 𝘀𝗏 managed to get that kill, where he'd be very far behind. As Pun has pulled the trigger on the flash and the cyclone, going for the solo here on 𝘀𝗀, but can't quite cut the Darken down. It was very close.
And you're seeing that early back coming in with that small late item advantage, had to go in immediately and got the most out of it. Traded flash for flash, but now 𝘀𝗀's going to get his back. He's going to move in. And for the most part, it's actually just this solo lanes of GLX that are giving them the small advantage that they currently have. Because 𝘀𝘀 is winning. 𝘀𝗀 was winning before he just got shoved out of lane. Now they're back to even and now back on item parity. I expect him to build that small CS lead again. And then it's just the junglers, or even the bot lane is a little bit ahead for Artemis and 𝗀𝗏. So they've set themselves up very well. So both teams have different points of power. Top side is controlled by GLX, bottom side is controlled by Cerberus. And that's much more impactful for Cerberus at this early point of the game because they have access to the dragon when the Rift Herald does not exist yet.
Yeah, it's very, very true. And we'll have to see if Cerberus wants to do anything with it or just continue to kind of play it slow, as they are pretty much just separated by first blood. Almost everything else has kind of been drawn even when it comes to gold and such. We'll have to see how that top lane develops now that, as you said, they're back on item parity. I think something kind of needs to be done a little bit about 𝘀𝘀, though. He shouldn't be this far ahead of an Orianna. Him winning the matchup is not disastrous. It is a control mage, you know, they just chill out for a while and do things later, but already developing a 20 CS lead is pretty disastrous. And 𝘁𝗀 is going to get this first dragon just due to the bot lane push.
Yep, the bot lane shove and the mid lane shove has really given 𝘁𝗀 this opening to get into the spot lane, into the spot river and take the dragon. And 𝘁𝗏 going to respond immediately by going to the top side.
𝘀𝗀's done a good side steps at the moment, but in the end, the kill is claimed. But the counter kill does not come in. The tower was on holiday.
Really lucky from 𝘁𝗏 that the tower attack speed is not high enough to deal with it. In previous seasons, that probably would have killed him. But he gets away with it. They managed to trade kill for the dragon. In the end, it's not a huge disaster for 𝘀𝗀. He's still even on CS. He's just down that assist gold. The experience is probably where he's most gonna hurt, having been shoved out of lane twice. But as he returns on the reset, they should have the ability to go for that Rift Herald as they're going now. And yeah, we're seeing the replay. 𝘀𝗀 did really well in sort of sidestepping the spear, but just too much damage coming out of Pun at this point. Doesn't have any defensive items. So just ends up going down and is unlucky. Just unlucky didn't get that second kill. Got that counter kill, rather.
I mean, that was about as good as 𝘀𝗀 can do. He dodged the spear. In the end, it's just that insane Wukong engage range, and was incredibly close to getting the counter kill on 𝘁𝗏. And we do see 𝘁𝗀 taking an uncontested Rift Herald there, just utilizing the reset timers very, very well. Had the top lane push, had the mid lane push, and just knew that was a free objective. And so far, the game's very, very even, but I've got to say, I'm incredibly impressed by how GLX is coming in and navigating this map, how they're playing with the lane priority. It's not what we expect out of rookie VCS teams.
Yeah, and, well, okay, rookie is a bit disingenuous. I'll hold that point as Shine's about to meet friends.
Yeah, Shine is about to get turned into some shiny gold. Ooh, there is going to try and be a counter kill onto 𝗀𝗏, but it doesn't happen, and 𝘂𝗵𝗆 went too far forward, and it's going to be a double kill for 𝘁𝗏. Who needs ego anyway? but it will
They
be trade.
they tried to counter kill an Alistar with ultimate. That doesn't work. Good response from 𝘁, able to get this Rift Herald down into the middle and get Blazers even further ahead. And that does tie into what I was going to say before that dive. And we're seeing the it's a disingenuous to say they're a rookie team because the only rookie on this roster is.
I mean,
Shine.
it's a new team.
I mean, it's a roster franchise.
Oh, hello. We'll have to come back to it. If the wall is assembled, 𝘁 does manage to get away though, and it's 2 ults for 1.
And we're seeing, and that aside, it's sort of a preemptive cast of curse because I was going to say the GLX is really doing well off the back of 𝘁's jungle experience. He's played around these the lane pressures really well to pick up these objectives uncontested. Whereas 𝘁1, much newer jungler, pretty much a rookie. He's been making good plays. He's 3-1. He's obviously not sitting still and twiddling his thumbs, but he's definitely not doing quite. He's not putting out quite as much team pressure. He's just sort of going for these ganks, much more of a solo queue style, not really showing this like pro level of communication. And I'm going to get these small invisible advantages. He's just going gank.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of, to put it into a bit of a binary, is 𝘁 is reading the map and saying, I'm going to do this, while 𝘂𝑚𝑒𝑟𝑒𝑐 is saying, this is happening, 𝘁1, come do this. I think that's the difference at the moment. And that's just experience. 𝘁 is an incredibly, one of the most experienced players in the VCS. Rookie was definitely the wrong word to use when describing the GLX team.
Yes.
But, I mean, at the moment, it has led to a pretty big lead for the 𝘁�UE. She is 3-1. As Alistar is kicking out of her, no problem.
But they can't go onto it. The spear over the wall from 𝘁1 lets them know that diving is a bad idea. So they're just going to deal with it, live with the harass on Ron OP, and then just try and push a bit more vision into the spot side jungles to set up and take this dragon. Could not steal the blue. So that's going to be on 𝘂𝗷 for this upcoming team fight, but they may be able to get this tower.
Yeah, they should be able to. That last minion falls, but it's only on a sliver of health. But here comes 𝘁. We're going to have our first real team fight of the spring split, as in they go. Shine will be the first one to fall, as everyone else manages to evacuate. 𝘁 successfully drawing the aggro of 4 and living to tell the tale.
Yep, poor communication from GLX. 𝘁𝗀𝗆 did not say 𝘁 was missing. 𝘁 did TP behind them, got a good flank, and there was no response from 𝘁𝗆. That means a free kill is the pincer movement comes in onto Shine. That's going to give them the dragon on top of that, which stops the snowball. And we're going to see what rift it is. It's going to be an ocean. I did not get to do the daily prediction. But 𝘁𝗆, in the end, wastes his teleport, but does get back up to top lane fast enough to get a plate. Maybe he gets the second one. Unlikely before 𝘁 arrives. So yeah, just really, really poor moves out of 𝘁𝗆, and we're seeing the old flaws with that we sort of expected to see out of this roster, and sort of bad and sort of poor solo lane decisions, and 𝘁 showing up big. Actually coming in for LL, who I was expecting to start, and we're finally starting to see the sort of the one that was promised when it comes to 𝘁. And
yeah,
Shine, you're not a support. Just take the CS.
he's trying to build a better lane position.
He's trying to freeze, I guess, but that's the support's job.
I think the support was a little bit busy in the mid lane, so we do have a replay here. And as you said, it's just 𝘁 getting the free TP.
𝘁 TPing down, and then Shine just sort of dawdling behind his team, and
rookie
that's
error.
Probably a bit of a rookie error.
Yeah,
not sticking together. He may have been knocked up by 𝘁 in that 4-man group, but the rest of the team wasn't really close enough to capitalize on that knock up from the Wukong, so they probably would have gotten out fine, but dawdled and didn't, and that was pretty much disastrous. And so, as we said in the pregame, it's the bot lane that's really been the big focus or the big letdown for GLX, because the top side of the map has done really well in terms of
they're still ahead in gold, and that's completely off the top side.
That's completely off the top side. They've gotten lots of plates. They've gotten the first turret mid. and they've gotten with the Rift Herald. So it's just this bot side that's really keeping Cerberus in the game, because 𝘁cie is, he's more than half the deaths. He has most of the deaths on the side of GLX, so they're going to have to really try and work around this weakness. And at the moment it's trading Rift Herald for a turret, but there's no plates, and if 𝘁cie doesn't get that down, that's just more advantages for Cerberus.
I mean, I think that's fairly even. It's essentially tower damage now for tower damage later. I don't really mind that. We do have some mythics being completed. A Kraken Slayer for 𝘁cie and the 𝘁𝗀𝘀 for Wukong. The 𝘁𝗀𝘀 is pretty standard. What do you think of Kraken Slayer? Because 𝘁cie's can kind of go two ways.
𝘁cie's can go with whatever. I don't mind Kraken Slayer so much against this team, because it's very...
You might be able to think about it, as 𝘁𝗀 has been ignited, but will manage to flash away.
Yeah. So Kraken Slayer, very, very good against this comp. They've got 3 members that are going to be building quite tanky. 𝘂𝗵𝗆, of course, full tank. 𝘁𝗀𝘀 and 𝘂𝗍𝒻 both going to be building pseudo tank, though 𝘁𝗀𝘀 is a bit more of a drain tank.
More bruiser.
Well, yeah, bruiser. But going to be quite a bit of armor, quite a bit of defensive stats in their builds.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not a bad thing. Could have gone for more of the Immortal Shield Bow and just tried to play a bit safer against these divers. My big gripe, or Gale Force, I suppose. Gale Force works better if you're. It works better if you're snowballing. Gale Force tends to. So, and they're not really snowballing. They're actually behind. So, definitely nothing wrong. Bot lane's not, but it's not. They're not really snowballing through the bot lane at the moment.
I don't know. I don't want to dwell on the point for too long. I just think the Gale Force dash is also super incentivized in this team. Get away from Irelia, get away from Rel. But we have a catch out here as 𝘂𝗵𝗆. He's doing a lot of work here on that metal pony, but it will be 𝘁𝗀 to go down. Lucky 𝘂𝗵𝗆 was there, or that would have been much, much worse.
𝘁𝗀 just get collapsed upon. They're not setting up their vision particularly well. They were just hatching that ward, and Ronop with a great wraparound came and punished them for it. I do want to put a small gripe onto the itemization of these junglers. Neither of them have done particularly well. I will actually. I'm not going to go full LS on this, but I will agree. The Moonstone build on Lilia is just insane. It's also good on Taliyah. I think
Taliyah is going a little bit far on the Moonstone.
Trust me, it's good. But even then, even without that, I still think Liandry's is a better choice for Taliyah than the Ludens.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Especially against a comp with like Alistar and Wukong. I just think the Ludens doesn't really provide that much. It gives you that extra percent penetration, but you can get that anyway. You can just get a Void Staff, and that's more than enough. So, not a big fan of the itemization, but as we just saw, all that GLX managing to pick up the Dragon against the run of play, very good for them. They can try and keep that. If they can keep that as a win condition in their back pocket, they can do insane amounts of healing.
Yeah.
With especially on 𝘁𝗀𝘀 on that Aatrox. You can get a someone that lives forever.
This is such a strange game, as 𝘁𝗀𝘀 is being collapsed on here, spreads his wings, but he's just going to zoop on out of there. He's got his Nikes on, and he's gone. He's got them pumped up. Easy escape. They did get his ult for basically nothing, so no real complaints.
He should never have been there, though. I don't know why he was that far into the enemy jungle. I guess if he was like looking for a back, maybe, but I don't think he was. I think he was just farming Grump or something. But they do get a tower on that top side with a split push from lasers. So in the end, that distraction paid off very well for GLX, and they have had, for the most part, superior map rotations. They've just had a few moments where they've been caught out by Ronop, and
I mean, this game is not going how I sort of expected it to. I mean, I was saying off air, so it doesn't count as a prediction because I didn't say it on air, but I was saying it on air. This is the chance for GLX to kind of come into the league and put a really good foot forward. Because in my opinion, I know other people on our desk disagree. I don't think Cerberus is so amazing that 𝘁𝑐𝗱 can never beat them. As 𝘁𝗏 has been caught out, but we are turning it on around. 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 goes down though, can't get those wacky circles being made. 𝗴𝘂𝗺 jumps on to the floor. Ooh, 𝘁𝗀𝗀 might have just made it. That was so silly.
Yep.
That was so silly, 𝘁𝗀𝗀. You're not a rookie. There's no excuse for that.
And we're seeing Cerberus's team fighting prowess coming in. Well, in this case, it was more GLX's team fighting. What's the opposite of prowess?
Failures.
Dismay, disaster. Blazers is on the top side, completely separated, making the split push.
Interestingly, this feeds, sorry to cut you off, but this feeds perfectly into what I was saying before this broke out, this is going the opposite of how I thought it would. I thought if this was going to happen, if GLX was going to win, it would just be because they outperformed mechanically. They just had some really good plays. But at the moment, Cerberus are the ones popping off mechanically, and GLX is winning the map. Like, it's the opposite of how I thought it was going to go. Cerberus, in the past, has been a pretty good macro team for the VCS. But they seem to have lost that, and GLX is outperforming them on that front. But then, when it comes to any sort of skirmish or fight, Cerberus are the ones winning.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous looking at the scoreboard and seeing GLX is ahead despite being down 6 kills. And it's not even like they have a huge turret lead. They're even on turrets. So all this lead is coming from CS and early plate gold and things like that. So really, it's quite a shock to see. Of course, it's evened up now, but it's not like a massive gold lead that any team is getting. And I would really like them to show a gold graph. I don't think VET does that.
No,
but
I don't think so.
I would like to see it because it'd be just a flat line.
It's been super even the entire time. Blazers is sort of just chilling in the side lane. I'm curious whether they commit to that or if they do have to start calling him into team fights. He has now completed that Triforce and the Blade of the Ruin King. He's extremely strong at the moment.
Yeah, there is a minute until that next Ocean Dragon, so it could be a good time where they sort of use the Ocean Dragon as bait to try and push down that top side a bit more. But I think if you're GLX, you definitely want to try and control that. As Pun is on a flank looking for a way in, 𝘁𝗀𝗀 is in the bot lane with no way to respond. But Yado's on top side, so it's just going to be clearing waves back and forth. Don't want to go for a 4v4 of any kind. And GLX resetting a little bit late.
Oh, and in goes 𝘁𝗏𝗻𝑆, tagged 𝗴𝘂𝗆 with the W and just instantly pulls the trigger. But?
Yeah. Luckily, 𝘁 was able to get there and sort of dissuade the follow-in with the just by being there. But
this is a late reset, though.
That reset is going to be even more delayed, and they cannot go for this Ocean Drake.
Ooh, this is a good call.
They're going to just rush Baron.
This is a good call. They're forcing Cerberus to take the decision. I like this. They're forcing them to make the decision. The Ocean Drake will go down, and now 𝘁 can get to this fight in time. Actually, any champion except 𝘁.
They don't have enough damage to burst Baron, so they're just
they have to take the fight.
Taking extra damage.
There they go. 𝗴𝘂𝗆 jumping on in, getting a huge ult, and look at this. It is GLX absolutely getting off on the right foot. That is a funny circle out of 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆, and 3 men go down. It's a triple kill, and Pun will fall. It's a quadra kill. The Penta is only denied by 𝘁𝗏𝗻𝑆 getting on out of there. Baron will be taken, and GLX put themselves in the driver's seat.
I worried about their ability to do it, but a great engage from 𝗴𝘂𝗆 meant that in the end, Shine was the storm that is approaching, comes in, takes over that. Look, I had to do DMC. Look, it's so
I know.
But comes in, gets a quadra kill. We've all seen it happen, and now that's a Baron. They're going to use this, and now they can use this to really amplify Blazers. A split push. They can set up a 1-3-1 with Aatrox as well. Look at this.
This was 𝗴𝘂𝗆, though. 𝗴𝘂𝗆 is the MVP of this fight. Let's be real.
Absolutely. 3-man W into an ultimate. 𝘁𝗏𝗆 and Azonia's meant that it was a little bit delayed, but in the end, just 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 got to pop off, had those 2 items, gets your collector execute. Just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And now there is an actually no, there is an actual gold lead.
There's an extreme gold lead. It's
It-
4,000 gold now. GLX just cracked the game open just off the back of this fantastic engage by 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗹𝘀. You've been clamoring for more rel picks, as we have a 1v1 down on the bot side, and that is incredibly one-sided, as Pun has to slink on away, completely unable to stop Blazers. 𝘁𝗏𝗏 moving forward. Here they go. They're trying to blow him up, but the stopwatch is there. There's a shockwave getting 3 into the backline goes 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏, but it's not enough damage, and 𝘁𝗨's gonna win the fight. 1-for-1 at the moment, but GLX have the health bars. Pun with a big cyclone, but it doesn't matter because it's funny gun woman getting the job done. She goes down. Oh boy, this fight is hard to track, but it's going to be 𝘁𝗶𝗆 coming out on top, and that was back and forth.
It's back and forth, but in the end, 𝘁𝗶𝗆 comes out on top, and they're going to be able to. That removes 4 of the Barons. I believe it might have actually removed all the Barons. I don't know if 𝗀𝗶𝗆 went. Nope, 𝗀𝗶𝗆 still has it. Did survive that Baron fight, but that's going to be an open inhibitor, and that's going to put a huge dampener on GLX's ability to approach and try and get anything done. I thought 𝘁𝗀𝗆 was going to come up huge with blocking 𝘁𝗏1's ability to kill Shine. Did not happen. So now we're sort of back to where we were. The game is, there's still a gold advantage for GLX, but the momentum swing and the pressure, especially in that mid lane, belongs to 𝘁𝗶𝗆.
And I've got to say, 𝘂𝗏𝗏, we haven't been talking about him. He has just been on this Orianna. He is playing so well. He hit a 3-man shockwave in that fight. We'll be able to see it in a moment. 𝘂𝗏𝗏 on the control mage has been amazing.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is we're seeing what happens when the fights start on GLX's terms compared to when they don't. We saw 𝗀𝗶𝗆 get a great engage, and while 𝗀𝗶𝗆 did really well in terms of trying to disengage and keep as many people as they could alive, the damage was already done before they could get into it. 𝘁 was almost dead. And so in the end, and because GLX wasn't ready, they sort of filtered in one at a time and got killed, and we're seeing another engage.
GLX is caught out here. That 𝘁𝗏𝗏 is not going to live for long. Pun spinning on forward and diving onto the backline. This is an absolute disaster for GLX. I don't know how they got caught like this. We were in a replay, but 3 of them are dead, and 𝘁𝗶𝗏 have clenched control of Summoner's Rift, and they're looking to end the game.
I don't know if they can at the moment. They have the 𝘁𝗏𝗏 and Blazers up. There's a few 20 seconds on rel, so they may be able to if they just focus the turrets.
There's a good shockwave.
Oh yeah, but if 𝘁𝗏𝗏 can just do Aatrox things.
Yeah, he's doing Aatrox.
Ended it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was kind of an overforce in that regard, but they're gonna have plenty of time to sort of gut back and set up this Dragon Pit for the 3rd Drake. Whoever gets this will be on Soul Point. So it's not like it's not the most influential Drake in the game, but grabbing the 𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗏 at the very least means they will have information and can sort of.
That was actually a huge mistake going for the end.
No, they're not going to have enough time.
That's a huge mistake. That's a free dragon. That is a massive mistake out of 𝘁𝗶𝗏𝗏. I don't blame them. It did seem like there was a good chance for them to end, but 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏, he's Aatrox with a Gore Drinker. You just couldn't kill him in time, and now that is GLX moving to Soul Point. The inhib will come back, and at that point, it's all back on the table. We've got a real nail-biter of a game 1 here, Vinnie.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm really impressed with 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏's decision-making. He's been all over the place, getting really good engages on, and a big part of that is actually going for the Shurellians instead of the more selfish 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 Chem-Tank, where he's able to let his team follow up with him so he can get these more insane engages instead of having to go for sort of a weird roundabout flank to get ones that his team can engage off. He can just get his team to run fast. Yeah. It works really well, and he's been putting up numbers. He's 0-3 and 12. He's had been involved with most of the kills in this game for his team. He's probably going to be I think the supports are both in contention for the MVP.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the MVP is which support wins. Because
yeah, that's pretty much going to be the case.
I think 𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗏's also got a very strong contention. He's been really good.
I think, yeah. I mean, I really need to see GLX try and set up their plays a bit more. I want them to set up visions, when this Baron is up in 8 seconds, they should have been here earlier to set it up so that Cerberus had to sort of come to them. That lets you set up fights on your own terms. You won those handedly. You struggled when 𝘁𝗀𝘃 is picking the fights. So just try and do what you can. And now Cerberus has the inside towards Baron. They can start it up and try and force GLX to come to them and win a fight on their terms.
Yeah, it is going to have to be GLX finding a way over there just to get some vision down. But at the moment, neither team is really making a true attempt at Baron. Everyone is just playing a little bit of the ARAM. So,
it's also worth mentioning Cerberus has much better wave control. They've the top side's pushing towards them. They can pick that up whenever they want. But they're starting up Baron now. I was baited by minimap. Bot side's pushing for them though. They're gonna get a slow push and eventually get a big wave crashing into that bot lane. So that's forced Blazers back.
Just getting
he's just running to mid. But eventually that wave is gonna crash. Eventually that's gonna force someone to respond, and then they can start Baron and force the 4v5.
Yeah, we will have to see. There are 2 teleports available for both teams, so not the worst. I think we will just see a little bit of posturing for position. It might not even be Baron that sort of cracks this open as it is the next Ocean Drake, because 𝘁𝗀𝘃 can force Cerberus to choose, and they can trade Baron and give Cerberus the Drake, because it doesn't matter. One Ocean Drake doesn't actually do anything. It's just not. It's as long as it's not Soul. Ooh, 𝘁𝗀𝗃 has walked into pun here, but yeah, he's just gonna zoop over the wall.
I would be more willing to give up Baron if I was GLX. Ocean Soul is still insanely powerful, and it's even doubly so on 𝘁𝗀𝗃, where you just have so much natural healing and buffed healing built into your kit. So, I mean, if you have that, and you should be basically unkillable if Rell stands next to you and gives you her armor buffs. You would be unkillable if Taliyah went Moonstone, but let's leave that alone.
Sorry about that. I just oh dear. Hang on a minute. Sorry, can you hear me?
You lost your stream, didn't you? Yes.
No, I didn't.
Hello?
I accidentally hit a hotkey on my keyboard that mutes everything.
Oh.
But I'm okay. I'm back. I didn't pause anything. We should still be in sync.
Okay, so and now we're seeing them posture in mid lane, but 𝘁𝗀𝘃 going for this deep flank, he could cause some serious damage, but he's been walled off. So is Shine! Oh no!
Oh dear. 𝘁𝗀𝘃 is in the rumble pit with Shine, but he's just an Alistair by himself. He's really deep. 𝘂𝗶𝗆 is taking a lot of damage. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 still alive, using that tankiness. 𝘁𝗏𝗻 has got the first kill onto the Rell, but now they have to finish this one. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 drawing a lot of aggro in the backside. Haha, funny circle is used. 𝘂𝗏 with a sombrero. But it does look like both teams will be evacuating. It's a health bar lead for GLX, but it's a numbers lead for Cerberus.
Yeah, and you're seeing most of that health bar lead is because 𝘁𝗀𝗃 and Pun just took a beating. And 𝘁𝗀𝗃, Alistair survives a lot more than Rell when he has his ultimate. So, and that really was the difference maker. He just was able to survive. He won't have it now, but if 𝘁𝗀𝗃's gone, it doesn't matter.
They just caught 𝘁𝗀𝗃 here. He'll go gold, but the counter catch onto Pun has done nothing. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 is alive for now in the back of the Dragon Pit. Shine building up the style meter. Is at A at the moment. Needs to get up to that S rank. But the Dragon's just going to get bursted down. Cerberus secure the objective. But it looks like they're not done. Charging on forward.
Great.
𝘂𝗶𝗆. Ooh, wow. Fantastic Blazers.
Fantastic stun from Blazers. We'll disengage that. But oh, never mind. Pun's gone in anyway.
Yeah, he has. He's found a Cyclone onto the back line, trying to clean up Shine, who does go gold. A big shockwave once again. And this is a very split fight. Pun has gone down. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 needs to try and find a way out, but doesn't have a chance. Into the back line goes 𝘁𝗍𝗏, but is immediately shut down. Blazers now has a lot to do as 𝘁𝗏𝗻 is trying to get around the backside, has got a triple kill, but can't go any further. And 𝘁𝗀𝗃 is the last man standing on a broken and bloodied battlefield.
Yeah, the ultimate showdown turns out 𝘁𝗀𝗃, Aatrox comes out on top. It was,
Mr. Rogers in a bloodstained sweater.
the same thing. You've thrown me off.
I'm so sorry. 𝘀𝘀𝗆 will take this mid lane tower, but that's really all he can do.
Gets another tower out of it, but everyone died, so it doesn't end anywhere. Pun coming in and getting a really big knock up onto these three but it looks like really bad for GLX. But then 𝗴𝗀𝗺 comes and saves it with a 3-man ultimate W, and really just delays the fight long enough that they can kill Pun, they can kill 𝘁𝗏, and then it's a much more even fight. 𝘁𝗀 backs out a little bit too early, I think, but in the end comes back in, ends up being a very, very messy end of that fight. But 𝘀𝗀𝗆 comes out on top, GLX comes out on top, and the gold has not moved. It's still about 3.5k
that
ahead.
Fight
for GLX.
basically meant nothing. In terms of knowing who is going to win this game, that fight meant almost nothing. Artemis did get a big gold injection, picking up 3 kills in that one. The 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 is very much activated. We'll have to see if he can really carry on that a little bit harder.
Baron really quickly.
Oh yeah, and Baron is getting shredded. GLX they don't think they can actually contest the Baron itself, but they'll definitely be able to contest the fight. Baron goes down. There is a Weaver's Wall here, actually really well positioned. Will Cerberus be able to evacuate? Do they even want to evacuate? There's the engage from 𝘁𝗏. 𝘴𝗏𝗺 goes gold, charging back in, and here goes Pun. He's spinning in the back line. 𝘴𝗏𝗺 has gone down. It started badly here for GLX. They're going to be able to single out 𝘀𝗀𝗆. He gets so much healing. Artemis dancing in the front line, takes out Blazers. Yado's the one that gets the kill, though. 𝘀𝗀𝗆 falls, and this is a big fight win here for Cerberus. Shine and 𝘁𝗀 limp away, but Cerberus are triumphant.
This may be enough to actually end the game, because while 𝘁𝗀 and Shine have a lot of damage, the Baron buff will protect the minions. Both of them are very squishy, so if 𝘁𝗏 just gets on top of them, they can burst them down instantly. That should be the game off that fight. And we're seeing one poor engage from 𝘴𝗏𝗺, did not find anything from it, and it meant they completely lost the fight, and yep, there's the game.
Absolutely, they do take it down, and that is going to be Cerberus securing game 1. But it took them 37.5 minutes. It was close, Vinny. It was a very close run race. We hope you are enjoying the show here on VCS English. We're not sure exactly how long the break will be, but there will be a timer on screen. Well, apparently we've been told not to go to break yet, so we're going to talk a little bit about the game. I think GLX, they definitely showed holes. But honestly, Cerberus is a good team. The fact that they played them that close, they were still, I think they were ahead in gold even at the end there, is really impressive.
GLX put up a much better fight than I was actually expecting out of them. Very good map movements in the early game, but their team fighting was their obvious weakness. They really needed 𝘴𝗏𝗺 to get amazing engages on 𝘁 before they would win fights. And that, or they just, even that really, really close fight worked a lot off 𝘴𝗏𝗺 doing a lot of heavy lifting. So, unfortunately, that's not a good sign going forward, because there are a lot of, because team fighting is like your bread and butter of this, especially in VCS. So hopefully that was just sort of first game jitters. Hopefully their team fighting will clear up as the series and as the split goes on. But with that sort of team fighting, especially against Cerberus, I think we might be seeing a 2-0.
We'll have to see. I definitely think Cerberus showed some weaknesses, but we'll talk about that a bit more before the next game when we do have our full analyst desk back. Thank you for watching, everyone. We hope you are enjoying the show. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be back with a cracker of a game 2 here on VCS English.
Awake to my voice.
G'day, everybody. It was a sick banger of a game 1. What a start to the VCS split. Welcome back to the VCS English Analyst Desk, sponsored by nobody, because we're poor. My name is Everyday. With me once more is Vinnie and 𝗁𝗏𝗆. 𝗁𝗏𝗆, we'll get your take first. What did you think of our two teams?
I think you put it best right as we were starting in. Is we can't tell whether Cerberus is worse than we thought or 𝘀𝑚𝑚𝑚 is better than we thought. And in this particular case, I think 𝘀𝑚𝑚𝑚 did better than I expected them to, or at least as well. I think 𝘂𝑧es had a good performance. 𝘁𝑚 had a good performance. Everybody on their team had to some degree a decent performance. I do think the kind of star was 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝗹𝘀, which was really nice to see. But all in all, they still got outclassed for the most part by the side of the teamwork coming through from Cerberus, which is to be expected since this team is relatively younger than Cerberus.
Yeah, Vinny, what's your take?
I think for the most part it was 𝘀𝑚𝑚𝑚 performing better than it was Cerberus underperforming. I think the mid lane, 𝘂𝗷𝘀, especially in the lane, once he got to team fights, he was fine, but in lane itself, he was getting pushed around by 𝘂𝑧es, which I was not expecting. 𝘀𝗀𝗀 also showing up pretty strongly in that laning phase, and their overall map rotations, especially early game, we can attribute that to 𝘁𝑚 for the most part, I guess, but that looked way better than I was expecting. On the other hand, though, 𝘁𝑚E was looking 𝘁𝑚E didn't do so well. 𝘁𝑚E didn't do so hot. 𝘀𝗀𝗀's positioning in the late game was very questionable at times. Overall, though, very, very excited for this roster now from what we've seen. I think they can absolutely improve and maybe even contend for that playoff spot, which is much more than I ever would have thought coming in, but they could do. Depends on if Cerberus continues to look like this. With these pretty glaring weaknesses.
This
and
is Cerberus without ego, though. Just keep that in mind.
True. They if with ego, they probably don't get pushed around as much in the early game. If they still have those laning weaknesses, though, they will still suffer a little bit in jungle pressure. But I mean, 𝗁𝗏 showed up huge. Artemis did a lot of work. That bot lane is still one of the best bot lanes we've got, and I'm glad they showed us that.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm curious how much ego fixes the issues, because, and again, if you missed the start of game 1, ego's not benched or anything like that. He's just sick. So 𝘁𝗀𝗀 or 𝘁𝗏1, I'm not 100% sure how you say it. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 is fair enough. 𝘁𝗀𝗀 is subbing in. Ego is still Cerberus's jungler. He'll definitely help, but I do think 𝘂𝗷𝗀 was getting pushed around a fair bit. He redeemed himself outside of lane phase, but it was pretty rough there in the Irelia-Orianna matchup. Rebel, what do you think both teams need to change to get a bit of a cleaner game 2?
Yeah, so 𝘀𝑚𝑚𝑚, for one thing, I would like to see some range to their composition because they were a really low range composition, and that's kind of difficult to exercise. Another big thing that they were kind of struggling with was whenever they had flanks with one of their solo laners, with one of their with their support, whatever it might be, a lot of times they were walking across wards, didn't even know it. So either get more creative with your pathing or find those wards ahead of time, because if 𝘀𝗀𝗀 walks onto a top of another ward, stands on top of it, and then gets killed 5 seconds later again, I'm going to start yelling, because this is, I think it happened 3 times in that last game alone.
Yeah. It wasn't great. Vinny, what do you think? What needs to change?
I think a bit more of a lane if you're on Cerberus' side, put a bit more of a lane priority into or an early game jungler focus in there. Put a lane priority thing for 𝘂𝗷𝗀. Don't give him Orianna. He did fine in team fights, but his early laning phase was pretty bad. If you're 𝘀𝑚𝑚𝑚, definitely get more range in your composition. Absolutely agree with that point. And I mean, if you're, I actually want to say if you're Cerberus, maybe consider putting Zhuhao in. He's still on the roster.
I mean, where is he?
You can put him on. You can put him in if you're that worried about the early game jungle deficit. If you can get a more like aggressive fighting type jungler for the side of 𝘁𝑚𝑚, go for that if you're 𝘀𝑚𝑚𝑚. I'm just bouncing back and forth all over the place. I'm sorry. I was saying what comes to mind. But I think, I think if you're 𝘀𝑚𝑚𝑚, try and get a bit more in that early game. That's where you're actually really, really strong. You've got good laning phase for the most part. You've got an excellent jungler for early pathing. And if you're if you're Cerberus, you don't need to change that much, but you also probably should change something. I just don't know what specifically.
Yep. And we are heading into draft, so we'll have to see what changes up.
And Rebel.
No, all you.
All right.
I'll leave it.
so-
Ridley, Renekton, Thresh, and Pantheon removed. I'm just dominant here. And
Okay.
so far, things looking pretty similar, except Cerberus does not want to mess around with the Nidalee again. 𝘂𝗏 was okay on the pick, nothing special, but also definitely no slouch. What would you like to see picked up instead?
I like that we're seeing a lot of this jungle focus. If GLX doesn't ban Olaf here, I want to see Cerberus snap pick that. It is one of, if not the best junglers in the game. So definitely want to pick that up. And GLX is going to actually ban the Samira away. Do not want Artemis getting that. Fair. But that leaves the Olaf open. If that's not taken by Cerberus, I expect GLX to grab that for Sorn instantly, because he is really good on that champion.
Yep, Olaf just snapped up. That makes total sense.
And now the question I think is begged is what do you go into the Olaf to continue? I know where I come from the States, it's Kindred is the option, because you can hunt him in his own jungle. When he gets kind of low, you can execute him and things of that sort. That's at least the answer that we've come up with. And sometimes I know Lilia is still available. You guys are big Lilia, the Moonstone Lilia. I know that's one that Vinnie would probably be harping on. If I dare see a Jarvan with a Moonstone Renewer, I will quit the VCS and never come back to League of Legends again, because I still have
That's only a support thing. Don't worry about it.
I'm still molding because of that, even if it was just a support thing.
All right. While we're still slightly on an 𝘁cie𝗱𝗆 tangent, Udyr.
Amazing champion. Good into Nidalee, not in anything else, though. Sorry.
Yeah, true.
Love the champion.
It's true. I hate this. Don't blind no.
There is no Renekton, though, so like you don't have to worry about that as the response. But yeah, I don't love it.
Yasuo's still available. I mean, no, I don't know if we're going to see Yasuo, but I feel there are definitely, in Lilia, as you touched on, is the LPL sort of the standard answer to Olaf. I mean, banning is the standard Olaf answer, but
yeah,
we see Zoe picked up decent mid laner, gives you a bit more of that lane pressure than the Orianna was doing, but also gives you also scales very well into the late game, insane poke potential, etc., etc. If you pair that up with something like a Jhin, or you can just ignore the idea of the poke composition and just pick Aphelios and just pick one of Artemis's best champions.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So,
rounds out the first stage of picks here for Sorn. Where are we going next, do you think, Rebel?
I think GLX is now kind of in a bind, because you've taken a composition where like Gnar wants to dive into your comp with that Mega Gnar. You got Lilia, who's fast but low range, and then you got also 𝘁cie, who's a dive champion. Ideally, with the 𝘁cie, you're going to pair another dive champion. You're going to pair an Alistar, you're going to pair Leona, you're going to pair 𝘁, you're going to pair whatever you want with it. And so that's why Aphelios gets taken, because they have to work into Aphelios and also into Zoe. So they're in a rough spot where now they have to try to figure out a way to get some engage into the Aphelios without needing champions that are in his face, hopefully.
So, I think you've already picked your top laner, so I was going to say, you could just go Malphite, but you can't do that anymore.
Support Malphite. Let's go.
Yeah, sure. Well, we bronze now, boys. The Bard ban is actually something that could have worked for that. You can also go something for like the Gragas, maybe, try and barrel him into your team. If you want to go that Gragas support for something a bit spicier.
Could just go Gragas Jungle. Oh, it can't be Gragas Jungle because you have Lilia. Yeah, Gragas.
Alice has been banned. Wow, did I just guess Gragas Jungle? That's the hard one.
Well, Gragas support, I think.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Lilia
Sorry.
is
I
the
said
exact
Gragas
same
support.
mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's definitely the theory, is you just barrel him, you just get the belly bop onto him. Gragas is a very strong champion, just in general at the moment as well. So yeah, I think that's a good pick here for 𝘀𝘀𝗶𝗹𝘀, but it is very different from the 𝘁 from last game. Oh no, surely. We're not just going Nautilus. Come on, 𝘁𝗁𝗋, don't be lazy.
I have an idea. No, okay, it's ruined. My thought was 𝘁𝗁𝗀, because like you can shut down Gragas in laning phase with it, with Q's knocking him out of his E and then also his W, and then also your ultimate just devastates this team. If they try to run in on your carries, you just press your ult, and then like Lilia can't run past, Gnar can't run past, 𝘁cie can't really go past unless she wants to go by herself. So I thought that was going to be good, but apparently they just decided to go with the Nautilus, which has been in meta for about 2 years now, so that's fun.
Yeah, Nautilus.
It's still 11.1 as well, so it's not like even like the Imperial Mandate nerfs have come through.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get everyone's favorite worst top laner. It's gonna be Kennen. The top laner, everyone says no, it's really good, and then proceeds to go 0-10 on in pro play.
My personal,
Hopefully,
yeah, I really like that there's Kennen, but it's not 𝘀𝗀𝗀 playing Kennen, so we have to say Kennen, or you guys have to say Kennen and 𝘀𝗀𝗀, and I'm sure every day is going to have fun with that in team fights, so have fun. Enjoy yourself in this game on that.
Oh. I was not expecting a Lucian mid, but here we are. That's where we're at. We're going to have to see how 𝘀𝗀𝗋 can pilot this into the Zoe, see if he can get that early lane advantage, and yeah, I think I'm just going to call him Gnar this game.
Always a good option. It's interesting, though, because we actually saw the hover on 𝘁𝗏𝗁 just not present in this pick and ban. She is considered very, very strong in many other places in the world, and just not really being valued here by these two teams. GLX doing a little bit of the GARM special. AP jungle, AD mid laner every game. Let's go. As 𝘁𝗀 is gravitating towards those AP junglers. Interesting, he was traditionally a tank jungler. His 𝘁𝗀𝗏 is the stuff of legends. But he's gravitating towards those AP junglers, at least this series. In the end, we've got two interesting team comps. Rebel, what do you think so far?
I don't think that 𝘁𝗀𝗏𝗏 has done a better job of drafting range. I mean, they've got Gragas for a barrel, they've got the Marble coming out from 𝘁𝗀 that can set up fights, and yeah, you've got like a pretty long engage range from Gnar when he's got the hop and he's got his ultimate, but like, you still have very low range ADCs, you've got very low range damage. I'm still very
champions this time.
range. Wow.
They all have like 500 range, but that's 3.
Ooh. But yeah, Rebel, do you want to give us your last thoughts and a prediction?
I think this 𝘂𝗏𝗍𝗀 pick is huge. I think 𝘁𝗏𝗻 is going to destroy this game. I think he's going to walk away our MVP, and I think they're taking this in 2.
All right, fair enough. Cerberus in 2 is Rebel's prediction. Let's see if that is how it plays out. Let's have a bit of a 𝘁𝗍𝗋 early on. That is an 𝘂𝗍𝗋 on the Kennen. Wants to go for the sort of poke onto the Gnar.
A little bit more harass. Artemis going for the lethal tempo is also a little bit interesting. As far as I'm aware, it's still Conqueror's the main choice. Lethal tempo will give him a little bit more early power and late game power. It'll give him a bit more power, but with a little bit less survivability without that inbuilt healing.
The thing is, though, do they ever really want to take that kind of fight? Because it's going to be Moonstone Lilia. I don't think you win long fights.
I mean, I think you can if you do your due diligence and pay Boris his toll, get that Grievous Wounds going on. However, yeah, I mean, 𝘀𝗀𝗀's going to be has this.
Oh no, 𝘁𝗏𝗋's been ignited. Exhaust traded instantly, but a terrible start for this Nautilus.
And behind apparently.
Oh, dear.
So yeah, 𝘁𝗏𝗋 taking a pretty terrible trade. That shouldn't impact the lane too much. He'll heal up a little bit over time. 𝘀𝘀𝗆, if 𝘀𝘀𝗆's good with his barrels, he can keep him poked down once he hits level 2. But that's just going to be a bit more lane pressure for Shine and 𝘀𝘀𝗆. That gives 𝘁𝗀 a little bit to play around as he goes through his jungle, but as you can see, despite Lilia being a really, really fast jungler, already seems to be falling a little bit behind
I mean,
Fook
it's
one
a
on the
Lilia
other.
starting red side. Lilia hates taking red. It takes so long.
It's true. So Olaf's going to be moving down to the bot lane pretty quickly. With that push up, the GLX bot lane has to be pretty careful. I don't think it'll matter too much. I'm going to complain a little bit about the 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝘀 going for the Grasp of the Undying. It's the safe rune. He's going to go into Divine Sunderer. It means you get a little bit more out of your Mega Gnar form, but you don't spend a lot of time in your Mega Gnar form. You're kind of just going to be useless for a lot of the time in your Mini Gnar. So
𝘂𝗷,
we'll see what happens.
Just a tip, 𝘂𝗷. You actually have to last hit the minions to get the gold.
Yeah,
You missed a lot of minions there. That was really bad.
Ignore that.
I mean, Yulwei's not here, so one of us has to point out that CS getting missed.
This is actually a very interesting path. I don't know if it was spotted, but Fook1's gone all the way back up to the top side 𝘁𝗀𝘀𝘁𝗀𝗃. He's going to pick that up. They may be looking to set up a dive onto this Gnar, or maybe he just is going to get the Raptor respawn, knowing Lilia always wants to start Raptors.
Ooh, I think
no,
it was actually going to clash. I think.
Not
I
doing
think he was just getting some vision. He did throw a ward down and then cancelled his recall when the Raptors respawned. I'd love to see what's going on in there, because this skirmish in the bot lane doesn't matter. And it is going to be the Raptors taken away for Fook1. So first blood in the War of the Raptors does go over to Cerberus.
Okay, so the Raptors go down.
Sleep gets the flash. They're going to go under tower though, and Blazes gets caught by a bubble and put in the ground.
Well, just very well played from 𝘂𝗷, managing to sneak a bubble in there and get a first kill onto the board. That's a free kill with an assist. And
It's just a huge mistake out of Blazes.
Yeah, and that
should never get hit by that.
completely undoes any lead that Blazes was building for himself. And
Oh, a hook in the bot lane. This one might actually matter, as 𝘁𝗶𝗆 does have to flash away. The flamethrower can't quite do enough damage, as we get a bit of a flurry of action.
yeah, Cerberus actually looking around and making plays.
Oh, Artemis!
Oh my god.
He lives!
How did he that's just rude. You should not live that. That's outrageous. But okay. Cerberus making plays. They're making plays and getting advantages for themselves in the lanes. That's exactly what they're
they're
Yeah, we have been desync for a while. I've been trying to sneakily catch up.
Unfortunate. Okay, well, I don't see the stream, so production, help us out.
After the replay, that was just...
Am I ahead? That's rare.
Yes, you're ahead of me.
Oh, that's rare. When do you want me to pause production? Okay, I'll pause at 45. I'll pause at 45.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Pause at 45.
All right, count us down, production. Okay, what are you at? Okay. Production inting. Okay, count us down, production. Perfect. And as it's coming, it's going to be another kill onto Blazes. 𝘁𝗏 getting that one sword, having to flash over the wall. We do apologize for the tech issues. They're just a reality. This is a bootleg broadcast. We make zero budget look good.
Well, probably the best.
Look okay.
But 𝘁𝗏, he gets out of lane, he makes his roams, he's making things happen for Cerberus, as is his job. As 𝘂𝗷 finds another bubble, but not going to capitalize on that. So yeah, 𝘁𝗏, he's doing his job. He's getting out, he's making things happen, he's giving Cerberus a good advantage. Now 𝘂𝗷 is off to an actual lead. He will not, and we've seen what he can do with a deficit in these team fights. So he's doing really well for himself. Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan of this play from 𝘁𝗏. You criticize the Nautilus, and I get that it's boring, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as the saying goes.
Yeah.
And he's about to, and he's fixing his eyes on Shine, it looks like. No, never mind. He's going to back up.
He's just chilling. I mean, this, like, 𝘁𝗏's getting an early kill. It was an insane play out of Artemis, but It didn't need to happen. 𝗀𝘂𝘀 is happy just chilling in the lane phase, so the fact that he's picked up a kill and they have this massive bot lane lead is actually just a huge boon. Rebel's prediction of Artemis popping off and just carrying the game definitely coming through. Oh, there you go. 𝘂𝗷, he's learned how to CS. Just had to have a helpful smite to help on out.
I feel that.
Forced out.
But yeah, we're seeing another engagement of this bot lane. It's probably not going to amount to anything. Just a bit of harassment back and forth. But as we've seen, these lane priorities, especially in mid and bot lane, especially have gotten them the first dragon. They're off to a great start there. And 𝘁 has been invisible this on the map this time around. He hasn't had the pressure to walk in and find objectives against the turn of play or counter what 𝘀𝘀1's doing. 𝘀𝘀1, for the meantime, has just been sort of playing what he has been doing extremely well.
Yeah,
he's just been sort of covering, making sure 𝘁𝘀𝗻 can't do anything. He found found a couple of ganks where he could. Just very nice, very well played.
Yeah, I mean,
very slow.
I think the big difference this game is 𝘁 hasn't had the mid lane pressure.
No.
In game one, we saw Blazers pretty thoroughly beat 𝘂𝗷 in the Irelia versus Orianna matchup. It hasn't happened this time. Blazers actually made one really bad mistake, and then the second kill was a bit less of a mistake, a bit more of a good play out of Cerberus. And it's led to 𝘀𝘀1 just having the run of the map.
Yeah, and now they're going to pick up this Rift Herald. They can drop that wherever they like. I would like to see it go bot lane, try and accelerate this 𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, try and get him to the point where when GLX wants to do what GLX wants to do, they die. And 𝘁 is going for the Liandry's. It's not a bad build, but it's definitely not the most effective. It's weaker in the early game by a long shot.
I think he's the only AP. They kind of need the damage.
The AP for the Bathwater build is actually comparable. If you watch LS's video on this, he explains it a lot more. I'll give you a quick rundown. The AP works out about the same. You end up buffing the AD and AP stats of your team as well. So in the end, it all works out extremely well to just go the Moon Staff build. And yeah, so Liandry's, especially in this team where you don't exactly have super tanky members to deal with. Yeah, you've got an 𝘀𝐿𝐹, I guess, and a 𝘁𝑚autilus, but you definitely want that. I think, but the healing is much more useful.
Well, we have a fight in the bot lane, though. We'll have to come back to it as 𝘂𝑚𝘀 did charge on forward. He's going to get taken down, but Shine wants to get revenge. Will he be able to get one? He does, but with the reinforcements, it's going to be bad for 𝘀𝑚𝘀. They get Artemis, but that is truly a consolation prize as they lose their bot lane and probably a tower.
Where did 𝑁𝗏 die?
Where?
He's just... Both
𝘁𝗏 was in that fight?
Apparently. Both sort of teleported down and 𝘁𝗏 did nothing.
Shockingly. Yeah, 𝘁𝗏 did nothing. Really? Ooh, a 𝘁𝗏 didn't have an impact? Really? I never would have guessed. It's almost like it's a bad pick.
Look. Listen.
But I mean, look, let's be real. Like, 𝘁𝗏 memes aside, it's Kennen versus 𝘁𝗏. Where was he in this fight? I didn't even see them.
So they set it up. It looks good with 𝘂𝘀𝘀 getting a 3-man belly bop, and then the teleport comes in 𝘁𝗏 for the flank, but he never gets to go Mega 𝘁𝗏. He just dies too early, and he's CC'd. He doesn't get to pop Mega 𝘁𝗏, and then it's just a very good ultimate from Pun, and Shine's able to get 1 kill back, but that doesn't actually matter.
Ooh, we're going on to 𝑟on_OP here. This should be a good kill. He goes gold, but it's only just going to buy some time. Flashes, goes Spider-Naut, and actually gets away. That's heartbreaking for 𝘀𝑚𝘀. That should have been free.
Yeah, at this point, you should be... If I assume they didn't have any CC available, because they should definitely be able to, at the very least, pop a barrel or something under him as soon as that times out.
Oh my god, 𝘂𝗏. Zoe coming in hot. This is getting a little bit graphic here. This is not the same as game 1. Shine rushes forward. Pun might get traded here as he is in that 2v1. The Gale Force from Blazers gets him close. That was a very, very late slicing Maelstrom, but it is once again just a consolation prize as Cerberus, all 3 heads are biting.
Yeah, it's a kill. They managed to Cerberus apparently being a Hydra, you've cut off one and the other one's grown, and it's grown 2 more or something. I don't know. That's not actually my analogy doesn't work here. I tried. Greek myth is hard, okay? Point is, they kill Pun, and on the other side of the map, they get a whole tower. That's first tower, solo gold onto the Aphelios. He's already got his Kraken Slayer. He's going straight into that. He's going to go grab his Runans. He's going to be well off onto the races. They do actually end up picking up this Cloud Drake, which is good for GLX. Having more access to barrels, having more sleeps. Very good. It's another Ocean Soul. It's very wet in Vietnam, apparently.
So fun fact, because we're gonna, it's the start of a new split, but we do still have traditions. It's Everyday's Lore Corner. Did you know that the Kraken Slayer being referenced, it's both a weapon and also Olaf. One of the ways Olaf has tried to meet his glorious death was jumping into the mouth of a Kraken, but he ended up killing it instead.
So, I mean, in theory, Lilia should be a counter to Olaf because she can put him into sleep, and that's where he's meant to die.
Yeah, exactly. He's meant to just die in his sleep.
Yeah, so clearly, Sorn reading up on his League of Legends lore with this, but he's not reading up on how to optimally play the game because he has not decided to impact the game at all. He is still 0-0-0, had 0 impact, hasn't got his mythic. He's ahead in farm, I suppose, but it's 10 farm compared to a kill, and 𝘂𝘶 just got caught out. I suppose a bubble into a paddle star did that, and holy crap, Yado just is on point with these.
Oh no, that is such a slap. This is look, 𝘀cie gave us some things to be excited about in game 1. It has not carried over into game 2.
No, Cerberus looked at game 1. 𝘁cie took them backstage after the first game and went, "What the hell? Buckle up, boys. Do this properly." And they listened. They are doing it properly. They have definitely come into their own this game. They are smashing pretty much every lane. They are smashing these team fights. Yado, I criticized him after game 1. He is back in it today on this Zoe. He is showing up huge, and normally we criticize VCS Zoe's quite a lot, but this is impeccable from Yado.
Yeah, this is fantastic. He's showing us how this champion is meant to be played. 𝘁cie, please take some notes. And over on the side of 𝘀cie, I mean, they don't even really have a scaling option or any real way to get back into this one. Aphelios is going to become an unkillable monster against their comp. 𝘁 has done nothing. And Sorn is still 0-0-0.
Yeah. I mean, look, the thing with 𝘁, the thing with Gragas, and the thing with 𝘁cie is, if you can hold it till late game, you can find that one glorious team fight where you just win everything. But at this, it's not looking like Cerberus are gonna take their foot off the gas pedal at all. They're picking up this next Rift Herald. If I'm them, I probably try and hold it until the next dragon comes up. Use it as pressure for that. That said, with the amount of control they have on this top side, they could just go and try and shove it in and get 2 charges onto an inhibitor turret. Pun's going to take a lot of damage. Oh my god, Blazers just...
Yeah, okay. Pun had flash. I just don't think he expected the culling to be that on point. Well played out of Blazers. But it's traded.
Meanwhile, top side.
𝘁's dead. Ding, ding, ding. Ring the bell, everybody. It's 𝘁cie 𝗱. Ding, 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 ding. It's just awful.
Look, yeah, I have to complain. The the Gnar build with Grasp, you want to go Divine Sunder. That makes you much tankier. It makes your mini Gnar form weaker, but you know you're actually tanky. Stride Breaker, you need to be going. You need to set up your runes to actually win lane if you want to build Stride Breaker or Gore Drinker or something like that. You need to go for the
Stride Breaker seems like a shocking choice.
The Fleet Footwork, that's the one.
Yeah.
You need to go for that sort of tree, but 𝘁𝗀𝘁𝘀, he's gone for the best of both worlds, and what that actually means is he dies a lot.
Yeah.
And he's died a lot.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗀𝘁, this Gnar is perhaps setting the tone of Gnars in the VCS, but I kind of hope not, because it's really not looked good. You don't go Stride Breaker when you're losing your lane, exactly as you said. You have to win your lane and actually snowball.
All right, Figuan, we're gonna ignore that first act. I just
I didn't want to comment. But this is gonna be another Drake picked up. Let's have a look at how this actually happened.
Just lands a very nice paddle star, wraps it around the minions, then lands a bubble, and once the bubble lands,
flash.
You die. Yeah, you
don't understand why 𝘁𝗀𝘁. Well, I don't understand why 𝘁𝗀𝘁 flashed. Like, you're still going to sleep, dude.
Yeah. Wanted to give 𝘂𝗷 more damage to work with. 𝘂𝗷 missing that bubble, unfortunately. Finally misses one. Has a heal. Well, Artemis has a heal, so 𝘂𝗷 gets to waddle away, happy as can be, and continues to really just control this map. Anywhere 𝘂𝗷 goes, GLX has to worry, because he has been on point with these bubbles for the most part, and yeah, he's done really well for himself.
Yeah, they have so far, and Cerberus continues just to continue growing the lead. 2 items now for the Fellows, has the Kraken Slayer, and the Runaan's Hurricane is already set to pop off a lot of damage. It's just a matter of when. Cerberus so far, they have slowed it right down, are playing this very methodical, don't want to risk a throw. Makes a lot of sense. Does mean we have to watch a GLX, you know, we have to watch them do their best.
Yeah, and the problem with CES does appear to be their vision. They've been very sparing with it. Sell your Doran's Blade, Artemis. Sell your pots, 𝘂𝗷. Just buy Vision Wards, please, so you can set up this Baron, take it down with pretty extreme speed. Artemis has one of the guns you want for that, and he can easily get rid of that purple gun whenever he wants. Gonna do it on this minion wave. Lily is dead.
Oh no!
Congratulations, Sorn. Welcome to the game. You have died. And that's gonna signal the Baron. It's got red and blue guns. That's really good for Artemis. That's gonna mean this Baron is gonna go down extremely fast if Artemis actually bothers to hit it, which he's not going to. They don't feel comfortable enough, or rather, they're going to kill Blazers because 𝘁𝗀𝗶 said kill.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just knock him up. They've got 𝘂𝗍 for years. Artemis will enter. 𝘁𝗀𝗶 might die on the backside. Nope, doesn't even get that. And now they'll go to the Baron. I'm sure the one chance of Blazers popping off in a fight is removed. And perhaps it's good that Yulwei is not doing Fridays anymore, because I think this Lilia performance from Sorn might make him cry.
Yeah, 𝘂𝗶𝗆 actually does go down to the Ignite. Good job, 𝘂𝗷. 𝘂𝗷 continuing to find these picks. With that pick does mean that GLX is even less inclined to try and contest the Baron, so they get that for free. Well, not for free. 𝘁𝗀𝘁's going to take this turret of the bot lane, but that's going to be answered back almost immediately. Actually, no, it's not, because there's no towers on the outside of the base. So Cerberus has already done that before Baron. So now they're just going to have to use it to break the base. And, GLX, you looked so good in game 1. What happened? Actually, I can tell you what happened. Draft happened. But 𝘁𝗍 happened, and 𝘁𝗍...
performance out of 𝘂𝗷 after... I mean, he had a much better lane this time. Game 1, I actually think as soon as lane phase ended, he was really, really good, but he did have a rough lane. This time he didn't have the rough lane, so he's just kind of popping off. And we said that 𝘁𝘁𝘀 was going to be walking away with MVP. Well, not if 𝘂𝘂𝗀 steals it.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to see a world. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think the MVP for the series should be 𝘁𝑚, but that's not really
we'll
relevant.
We'll talk about that later.
That's not relevant right now, as they're knocking on the door of this inhibitor, and they find an engage.
That they do. Under they go. The hook will start it off. 𝘁𝗀 does not get to go mega. Once again, 𝘁 showing his true power. As 𝘁 follows him to the grave, the inhib will be blown up.
Oh my god, they're actually going to win this. they have the Baron. They can take
they're
it
just going to walk in.
They're just going to walk in. Place is dead. China's dead. Eventually. Actually, maybe not. But that Nexus dead. That's the main thing. Cerberus come out to a massive lead in the 2-0. Well, lead. They've 2-0. They've taken the first win. Oh my god. Casting's hard.
It's going to be Cerberus taking a 2-0. They draw first blood in the VCS 2021 with this victory over 𝘀𝑠hi𝗱. 𝘀𝑠hi𝗱, look, game one gave us some hope, and then we were reminded that they are the promotion team in that second game. Cerberus definitely reasserting themselves. It was just a fantastic performance there out of everyone on Cerberus, particularly in game 2. 𝘂𝘂𝗀 and 𝘁𝘁𝑚𝑒𝑠 in particular. And as you said, 𝘁𝑚 had a fantastic series, particularly in game 1.
Yeah, it was a fantastic series out of 𝘁𝑚. It was a fantastic series out of 𝘁𝘁𝑚𝑒𝑠. 𝘂𝘂𝗀 really showed up massively in that last game, but he did struggle a bit in the first game, so he's gonna miss out on player of the series, definitely.
Yeah, player of the series will be going to 𝘁𝘁𝑚𝑒𝑠. It was close. I agree with you. I think 𝘁𝑚 had a good shout, but he was a bit quieter in game 2, while 𝘁𝘁𝑚𝑒𝑠 was very, very loud. And 𝘁𝘁𝑚𝑒𝑠 had a very good game 1 as well. That 𝘁𝑠e was no slouch. So it will be 𝘁𝘁𝑚𝑒𝑠 that gets our player of the series, and Cerberus that walks away with the win.
Yeah, we don't have stats yet,
Sure.
so
I don't see the stream, but I assume something really dumb is on screen right now, but I don't have the stream up.
Look, we went with the stats Rebel insisted we use. So if you read the chat, yeah, there we go.
My. But with that will bring us to the end of Series 1. Don't go anywhere, though. We have another series to bring you tonight. We will be getting our first look at one of our new teams. Very exciting stuff. Don't go anywhere. We hope you are enjoying the show here on VCS English. If you are, please do consider subscribing or donating to the stream, or even becoming a patron. The links are below. As I said during the cast, we have zero budget, and we do our best with it, but we'd like to potentially have something. But, of course, no pressure. Yeah. We do it anyway. We'll see you guys in not too long.
Don't go anywhere. It'll be dynamite.